I'm Dallas,
I'm Jeff. And this Dallas, tell us about.
and this is our little Tommy cat. And sure enough, I said he came along to steal the show, and boy, did he steal the show. We've
Yeah,
lost him over the weekend. Um,
that's tragic, Dallas. I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, it's tough. It gives you a lot of insight just into loss in general and like the empathy, that people have. He was basically like he loved being outside. He loved being he wasn't quite feral, but he kind of was.
I've
Um,
never seen a tamer feral cat than Tommy. I'll
yeah,
tell you that.
yeah, just such a
Cheers
personality.
to.
I know. Let's pour one out for Tommy.
Mm.
But he would come along. First I saw him, he was up on my roof, and he just kind of popped up and was like, "Poo poo," and
And just to
such a
just to
proper
go
little
back a little
gentleman.
bit, Tommy came with the house, right? I mean, you bought this space for your house, and
Well,
he appeared.
the story goes that we've learned that he was brought by a construction worker to our neighbor's building and he
Uh-huh.
lived there. And so everyone in this building loves him too and is feeling the loss. Um, Everything's really quiet.
Yeah. So
Um,
he's, you know how long? Like how old he was? About, wasn't that old,
I
was
think he
he?
was about 2 years old.
Oh my gosh, he's just a
Yeah,
baby.
he was. Yeah, he'll
Oh,
be
the way he
forever.
acted, he was so
Yeah,
mature. Like,
he'll be forever young. He was super smart. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Or you telling me like he didn't let you sleep? What was he doing? And
Yeah, he would wake me up around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I
yeah.
would go outside. And it seemed like he needed to go use the bathroom, or that
Hmm.
was like prime hunting time, and he was not having it. But
Did
there
he ever
was
bring you any presents like that he found? Like,
some I would see I
is he
would
that kind
find
of?
I would definitely find mice around on the property that had been killed. Um, and it was hard to tell if it was him or the other cats. There was this other fluffy
I know
cat
you got
that's
the
around.
orange cat, the
And the
instigator.
orange cat, yeah. But he was fierce, man. He was my little battle cat.
Yeah, every time I came over, he would just jump right up and say
Yeah,
hi and fearless and beautiful
yeah,
cat. So
yeah.
sad day
It's
for.
real.
Yeah.
It's a real somber time around our neighborhood
All right.
because of that. Yeah, and everybody that knew him loved him.
Well,
Um,
Dallas, sorry about that. And what else is going on in your Latvian universe here?
yeah. Things are just as weird as ever. We're beginning construction this week on a house
Congratulations.
that's been like 3 years in the making, and
Has it been 3 years? Oh my gosh.
mhm.
Wow.
Well, it's been about two, but it's really been three
Yeah, the
that
process,
we've
yeah.
had it. Um, but yeah, like
So I
it's
imagine
it's a
getting
pretty
all your ducks in a
excruciating
row in
process.
the Latvian bureaucracy has been a fun adventure for you.
Yeah, I've learned a lot though. I've certainly learned a lot of patience, and I've learned a lot about um, how when all the other guardrails are off, it's the bureaucracy that can slow corruption. And so if
Well,
you
I
don't
think that's,
have
isn't that
bureaucracy,
right?
it can be just wide open to corruption. So the
Right.
more
I
you
think
hear about
it,
deregulation, you should
right.
also consider how
If you
much
want to get, I
corruption.
mean, into the basic understanding of why a government exists, I mean, so much of it just comes back to corruption. And I see this when I first moved to Latvia, there would be these rules on the book, like when I had to apply for something, I had to fill out the form twice, and they wanted a copy, and I get a copy. Just these little procedures. And I was just trying to think to myself, like backing up and wondering why did this, like, what happened to them, who hurt
Hmm.
them to make
Right.
this rule. Because I think most rules like that exist because somebody figured out a way to exploit the system, and then they had to come up with this plug, put it
Hmm.
in. Okay, now we have to plug this hole. We have to plug this hole, and then you just get over and over exaggerated bureaucracy. But you're right. It's like it just seems like there's always someone trying to game the system, and the system is always trying to figure out how to stop the game from
Hmm.
happening. And we see that right now with all these scammers. Have you seen this? Swedbank. Swedbank just limited the amount you can take out a day. I think
I
it's
saw,
750 euros.
yeah, which is totally acceptable, right? I mean,
Well, for most people, but
well,
not
in the
everybody.
US,
Like
I remember when, when debit cards first started being a thing, it was like 300, 400
yeah,
was the limit.
250, I think was my yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, all these old people are getting these scams from, and then they go to their bank and they just give out their information, and then yeah,
Hmm.
becomes a big problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you've got the house, so the groundbreaking, you've got a crew, you've got people coming, they're gonna
Yeah.
invade
Yeah.
your private space, and
Yeah, all the peace and quiet in that regard's over, but it seems like we got some competent people, and which is different, than
but
what
it's
we've had in
it's
the past.
September. Are you worried about winter, like putting a
It's supposed to be a
kibosh?
mild winter this year in Latvia.
Hmm.
So we're not supposed to have a very hard winter, which would be good for um, security purposes, and things like that. Um, and I, I don't know, like just in general, we can get a lot done. The ground won't freeze
Hmm.
until January or so. And
Okay, so you
then,
got a few months.
yeah, and even then it shouldn't be too bad for digging. There's some, where you don't disturb it, but I don't see a real hard deep freeze happening this year.
Are you
Um,
doing a foundation? Do you have to put in a foundation, or what? How does that work?
yeah, the whole thing's really got to come down
Oh
and
yeah,
start back over. Basically,
I thought you were leaving that.
there's a foundation footing,
Hmm.
and we were going to try to save some of the old bricks, but I don't think that it's going to happen. I think
Okay,
because it's like it's kind of piecemeal, so like there's some big doors or there's big windows and stuff, and so what's there is um, just a little more of nostalgic than it would be
practical.
even cheap, like it's
Yeah,
more expensive to work around something like that than it would be to just take it down, start new.
yeah.
Now
I
we know
think I
what we're
think we
working
see that a
with.
lot with these projects. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations on that. You got a sadness, but then a new hope, kind of a bright future, and perfect day
Yeah.
for it because today is the
Yeah.
I think it's the rapture time right
It
about
is,
now
and
in America.
well,
Yeah,
that's I think Tommy was truly raptured up, and
yeah.
so there's somebody called something around all of this, week this time that was going to be taking place.
Well,
There's
here's a
some
question
strange
for you, Mr.
energy around
PK.
that.
The PK question, philosophical question for the pastor's kid, is so I had two questions. One, I think the rapture was scheduled for morning in America today. So does it follow the the international time zones? So if the rapture is 6:30 a.m. in Omaha, Nebraska, then the
Right,
rapture is
like
like 4:30 here. Is
yeah,
that how it works?
these questions have been pondered by theologians and
Yeah, yeah.
laymen
So that's one
alike.
question I had. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I wake up this morning and it's rapture here,
Yeah.
or if I have to wait for morning in Salt Lake City.
No,
And then,
it would be kind of universal, but it might be on Eastern Standard Time.
oh, it's EST. I thought
It might
GMT.
be
You
Eastern
know.
Standard Time, but then like when it's there, it would happen the same for everyone all at the
Okay,
same
okay.
time.
So
Jets would
Jesus has to
crash out of the
pick.
sky. The
Yeah,
Christian, it was or the pilot was a
if the
Christian.
pilot's a
Left
Christian.
behind
So
material.
here's my second question for the theologian, for the pastor's kid. What if nobody on earth deserves to be raptured, except
Hmm.
for somebody like Tommy, the cat, the really innocent, whatever?
Yeah,
We wouldn't even know. Then we wouldn't know it happened, or how does that work?
yeah. No, I know it's the story goes that everyone will be given a chance to repent. So like
No,
you'll
no, no. I don't think
that
that is
you'll
that. I
know.
don't know. I don't.
There's
I
some
didn't go
like
to
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah. These
evangelical.
this it goes back to a particular guy that started the whole
Like in
in
the
the days,
1800s, this
and
big,
he's saying it's going to happen this time, and then like it didn't happen then, and it, it continued on. And then the
yeah.
people around him did that, and it continued to branch out into these various uh, denominations of Pentecostal and evangelical, and there's even
Did your church have
clairvoyant.
this? Did your church have this belief that
Oh
it
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
coming?
yeah. It
Oh,
was.
because
I mean,
we
the whole
like
thing is
Lutheran.
built around the rapture. Like where it's like the Pentecost and the rapture. Um,
That's the evangelical Pentecostal Christians all have this kind of belief. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, like so it was like the Holy Spirit event, and the writing on the wall kind of this stuff.
Okay, so I'm
Um,
going to read you what ChatGPT says how it's supposed to work according to teaching. So Jesus appears in the sky. The dead rise first.
hmm
Christians who have died are resurrected. Living Christians are transformed. You get your glorified body and you get taken up with Jesus. You meet the Lord uh, in air and taken to heaven. On earth, there's a tribulation. So this may be what you're talking about: suffering, war, the rise of the Antichrist,
hmm
which started about a year ago by my 9 months ago. And Jesus returns again the second coming after the tribulation and then sets up God's kingdom on earth. So that's kind of how it
Yeah,
works. So I
right.
guess if you
It's
get left
like,
behind, you just.
and that's like you get a chance if you don't take the mark of the beast.
But I don't see that. It doesn't say anything about this part. That's I've never heard that before. I
Well,
thought basically
the thing
you're
is,
saved up to the rapture, and then if you're not, if that's it, that was your last chance.
yeah. Oh well, like no, we believed that like that if you didn't take the mark of the beast, that you would still go to heaven and stuff like
Oh,
that.
so
I
you
believe.
have the mark of the beast thing too?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my
But
gosh.
the more like if you actually read the text in the Revelations, it seems a lot more like what we've experienced almost like with financial crashes and with political cycles and with these
Well, like a
things
nine-headed
where it's like
beast coming out of the sea and four horsemen of the apocalypse.
sort of, but more um like the way that power builds and falls over time, I
Oh
guess, if
yeah,
you'd say
these
something like that.
patterns. Yeah.
And societies build and fall. And so it's like, um, and most of it's very cryptic, so it's like kind of like Nostradamus where you can read
Oh yeah,
into
yeah.
a
Because
lot of
you,
that.
well, we've seen that, like people just
hmm
putting it on it. But why did they? Do you know why now? Like who said it? Like who was this? Where did this current one come from? Like that it's going to be today. Like do you know which church or which person or
I have
does it?
no
How
idea.
did it? How did this rumor start?
I have no idea. I
I
think
just started seeing it
I
on
mean,
my.
as far as I know, it was just TikTok.
But it
And
has to be.
it's
Can you just say?
TikTok. It
Could we
might,
just say it and then it becomes a thing? Is that?
um,
I guess what I'm saying is,
yeah.
who has the authority to schedule the rapture?
Right, it would be any, and it could be a trolling. It could be the same people that are behind the Flat Earth Society and Flat Earth stuff, just to
Birds aren't real.
put it out there, yeah, so that anyone who's gullible enough to take it on will do it. And then, if a million people are going along with it, there's going to be a million people out there. South Africa, South African pastor
Oh, it started in South Africa. That's
Joshua
a,
Malikla.
I guess that's a good source as any.
But it's really it's something that's come along only like in the 1900s, like maybe late 1800s
It was 1800s, I think, was
and
a. I
1900s.
remember reading about the first guy that did it, and then the next year, and then the next year, and then since then it's been every so often we get a new version of it.
hmm
Um, so do you have anything else on that, or I want to move to the next question I have for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is our president from yesterday. Let's see here.
Think it's better, so let it be separate. The chicken pox is already separate because when that got mixed in, I guess they made it four for a while. It really was bad. So they make chicken pox. Individually, they're okay. When you mix them, something maybe happens. So there's no.
What? Why did it stop playing? I lost it. I'm sorry, I messed up. Thought I had it queued up. Anyway, so this was our president talking about the Tylenol thing.
Hmm.
Catch it? Did you catch that?
I caught some of it. I think it's really interesting how the stocks performed in that it's
So immediately you go
dropped.
there. You don't even you did just stocks performance is what this announcement was. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean it's because it's Johnson and Johnson, which is actually called Kenvue now,
They sold, from what I saw, they sold
Kenvue,
the Tylenol to this other Colve or whatever. Uh,
Killview or Kenvue,
Kil-
Kenvue,
Kilview. Yeah.
Kenvue. But yeah, like I think what it is that I'm watching so much of this financial system sort of be pulled into their control, into that very tight circle where you can almost count all of the money right now within, their cabinet and Elon Musk and, Bezos and Zuckerberg, etc.
Yeah. It just all
Um,
comes down to what's
yeah, and so
profitable.
it's like the economy that we've known is no more really. Like
Just obsolete.
it's just kind of a shell of itself,
Yeah.
and I think everyone has been seeing how it's kind of a house of cards. The whole system's
Like
been a
it's
house
not
of cards.
about supply and demand in the traditional capitalist sense. Now it's like, what can we do to create an illusion of demand? I was watching this little video today. Tell me if this rings true. So you go to the bank, you want to buy a house. And in the old days, you saved up like 10, 20% to put down on the house. Now you go in and it's not worth saving that money because by the time you save the money to put down on the house will already be worth more than the money you had saved.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better just to take out a 100% loan
Mm-hmm.
right away
Right.
because you can't save fast enough to keep up with the increase in prices.
Yeah,
Does that
and
sound about
that's
right?
yeah, and well, and that goes into the interest rate, but going down, right?
Yeah.
So say is what the idea is, savers lose out on money, and people who are putting their money into the stock market and speculating with it, but also it's like that the stock market uses it, right? So the idea is that it's invested in there, so
Mm-hmm.
that capital is there. It's so that it works. The businesses keep churning, and the
Greases the
engine keeps
wheels.
right, and the engine keeps chugging. And then there's dividends and returns on the other end of it. Or like right now, the S&P 500s went from 6,600 to 6,700, like boom, like in within days, and
Mm-hmm.
it was taking a while to get to 6,600. But it could, I think it might get to 7,000, which is unbelievable. And it's like so this money gets pulled into crypto, it gets pulled into stocks, and then
Yeah.
it's not in the normal currency
Or
necessarily.
economy. Yeah.
But the rest of but the currency is still doing its thing around the world, making having its network of exchanges. But to watch what the crypto stuff has done and what Elon Musk has done with a few trades several years ago, um, where like something's going to go up, let's just go put all the billions in on it. It goes up, now let's sell. And he would pump and dump a lot of the crypto, that he
And you
would.
think that's what we're seeing here with the Tylenol, some kind of like,
I
and
think
it
it's
could even
that
be just a cool
because,
experiment that the Trump, all he has to do is come out and say this, let's see what happens. And then
well,
next thing he says, let's see what happens. I mean, every
it's just a
time he
big
says
part
there's
of
going to
the
be a
economy.
tariff, every time he says there's going to be this, and then there isn't, or there is, and it just feels like
It's just another piece of the
pulling
economy
some
where
strings.
where he could go, or not just him, obviously, it would take
Yeah.
much more than him, but you like go and all of these institutions start dumping the stocks, or you come out with this news that makes the computers dump the stocks, if that makes sense. So if
Oh
it's
yeah.
algorithmic trading, bad
Hmm.
news is going to make those computers
You
be
trigger you
unstable,
trigger this algorithm.
and there might
Oh
not
my
even be
gosh.
any
So now
humans
you
behind the
ruin it for me.
situation.
I just want to make a joke. I just wanted to point out the clip I had was where he said that babies shouldn't get the hepatitis B shot. And he said babies shouldn't get the hepatitis B shot because it's a sexually transmitted disease. And here's the best part, Trump said they should wait until they're 12 years old.
Oh my God.
So for me, that was like the most perfect telling thing about our president. It's like babies aren't sexually active, but in his mind, sexual activity begins at the ripe old age of 12.
That is
And just
just
for
really
facts, just to
disturbing.
make sure we have the facts right, only 38.2% of infections were sexually transmitted hepatitis B in the US from 2013 to 2018. So that means that 60% or so are transmitted by other ways, which he
Yeah,
didn't mention, but
like uncleanliness.
to his brain, a baby sex, like I don't know, he's just got messed up.
Puberty. Like, right, he thinks puberty starts at 12. So, yeah,
Maybe. I don't think he knows what puberty is. I don't think he understands that concept.
yeah.
But speaking of the
Yeah,
Epstein files, have
that's
you
a
forgotten
super
about them?
uncomfortable subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you forgotten about the Epstein files yet? Have they done it? Did they
I
do it
no,
last week?
absolutely
Just
not. Absolutely
knocked
not.
it out of the park.
So
We got Jimmy
for
Kimmel. We got,
mhm.
yeah,
uh
we got
for uh
Charlie Kirk.
for preachers' kids uh experience, I remember my dad um like there was uh, a girl that was dropped off by her uh, dad or family. I think it was her dad. Um, for some reason, it was like the dads were getting left with these children in the 90s. Um, so they would take them to the church and they would want them to, like, please take care of my kid. And so they took them to church, and we would drive her home, and he would always want me to be in there with him because he didn't want a situation where she said that something happened or somebody says
Oh,
something that happened and there was no witness.
yeah, yeah.
And so and so like yeah, but it was really strange to where it's like
Did you know
that's
that?
there
Like, how
was
old were you?
a little bit of a trust issue, or like, like that's a lot of trust because they knew that a kid wouldn't lie and a child wouldn't. A child, they're gonna get
Yeah,
they're gonna be able to get a child to tell the truth. So he was
yeah.
trying to like have like a truth monitor in there
But how
where
old were
it's like
you?
because we didn't have cameras, stuff like that at the time. Um, I was probably 12 or 13, something like that, maybe, something maybe a little younger.
Hmm. Just
Um,
old enough, yeah,
but I think 12
but
or
still a kid.
13. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
so
didn't
well,
understand that much at all.
when I was a teacher in the States, they kind of implemented that rule that never have your door closed with the female student in the
Yeah.
room and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very difficult, and it's what freaks a lot of people out. I think, it controls a lot of our politics that most people don't
it
realize.
does. It
'Cause it's
does.
like I don't have a child, and it's been extremely difficult over the years. It started even when I was like 18, where it's like, you don't have a kid, so we're not going to give you this raise. We're not going to give you a promotion. Like even though you've been working at the warehouse for 2 years, like we're gonna
Oh, wow,
give
you changed the subject a little bit on
this
me.
older
We were
guy.
talking about this.
Well, no,
So
I'm saying
now
it's more
you're,
like for childless people, and then
yeah,
how childless people are very keenly aware of that security part that the parents have because we don't want to come off as someone who would not be safe around children. Um,
yeah.
but
But
over time,
there is a big difference. Like, so I'm a father, I had kids. And nobody ever questioned like me being around little kids. I was a
Right,
teacher, I was a father, and I have my own little kids. And so it's
right.
like, but yeah, you get the person with no kids hanging out. It's like, what's that person doing
Exactly.
here?
Right.
Like,
And then
yeah.
especially if it's me and my wife, it's a couple and they're like these
Hmm.
guys are casing out people to steal, like
You
they're
know, no,
looking for
I think the wife would make it a bit safer. The single dude
some.
with no kids hanging out with no kids is the
No, I mean, there's a lot these days that have changed, and especially like child abductions. And so honest looking couple or whatever, or like a regular looking normal type of person that can, couple that can blend into society could be perfect for child abduction.
you are scaring me, Dallas.
Well, I mean, it's a reality, and it's like
Yeah.
it's the ones that like it's like a filter thing, right? Where it's like, oh well, we know we can't trust you because you don't have kids. So it's like you're
Oh yeah.
way out of that filter box.
So now you
And
have to find the people who you can kind
but
of
then it's
trust
like,
and the
but it's like the
but who
ones
are
that
these
they
monsters? Who are the monsters that are
a lot
doing
of
this? Like,
women teachers and
but
a lot of
who
people,
I
so you
just
have to
don't
have that
understand. I just
trust,
don't get the
and
what's going
then
on
they're
up
in that
here like this.
position for the
But
human
why
nature to
did
take
who's
over one way or
doing
the
it?
other.
For what purpose? Like what anyway, I want to go to another subject because this is also
That's a
uncomfortable.
whole other psychological thing that I would have
Or
no
is it
idea. I
money?
just know that there's
Is
lots
there
of
some
videos.
underground, there's some underground money and this whole, going back to Epstein thing like this.
Hmm.
He didn't traffic anybody, but he trafficked it's this whole thing. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Speaking of scary,
clearly a culture.
speaking of scary, three Russian jets in Estonia. Let's get
Mm-hmm.
local here. How does that make you feel?
Yeah. Well, I think things are definitely stepping up, you know? People
To what
are,
end? Where's it going?
well, it will always be handled professionally by NATO. Um, and then all of the other countries, I assume, would have to play by some sort of rules to remain a part of NATO. So they
Mm-hmm.
can't like go and like I don't know exactly all the particulars of the treaty, but I would imagine it's like, okay, well, you can't go and just go, punch them in the face with missiles or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to we all have to work together
There's
and do this
steps to be
together.
taken. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like what you were talking about with the bureaucracy stuff and all, how everything gets a little check mark, a lot of that stuff comes from insurance companies.
Oh yeah.
Now here, I think it would have come from the Soviet system being able to, highly sort of manage
Yeah.
itself.
Control, make sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and then some of that could be like filter or like examined and see
Mm-hmm.
what's good,
Mm-hmm.
what's bad, what should be kept and what should be left behind. And then some of that was copied and put into the American system as well.
Yeah.
And there's like this playbook that all of the leaders tend to use, and that's why we get this like globalized hybrid system that we're not quite sure what's a capitalist, what's a communist, if the capitalist is buying, using communist factories and letting them build up their armies and then they're against you.
But
And then it becomes
let's
this
go back to
whole
these.
other where it's like I'm just a consumer, right? Like I'm not on any other level. I got off subject though. Uh,
No, I'm wondering, as a person living in Latvia, we
yeah.
had the drones in Poland that Russia accidentally sent to Poland. Then we had three jets cross
Hmm.
into Estonian airspace,
Hmm.
escorted out by the NATO fighters.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, living in Latvia, does this make the cackles, the hair stand on end? Does it make you more nervous? Does it make you more thoughtful about it? Or is it just another blip in the machine?
Well, I think that it's like the temperature's rising in a lot of other ways, in a lot of other areas.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes what is kind of normal seem a little more like a boiling point, if that makes sense.
So do you feel like the frog in the boiling pot, like you're not noticing it, or are you paying attention to it and really feeling
Well,
it?
I think that we've very clearly seen the way the US has gone, where it seems like a corporate takeover and the people that have been a part of the system didn't really realize that it was all a house of cards, you know? Um, and
Well, it
there,
hasn't fallen yet, Dallas. Let's not bemoan the fall of the
that's what
American empire. Just
I don't know. I think that these things, there's too much of a delay, there's too much ignorance. Um, like
a
the
delay in a response, you mean?
well, like the idea of these sovereign wealth funds, the idea of these huge, giant amounts of money, these billions and trillions that are going around, and how the average citizen doesn't have any of that kind of stake in it. So we could be
Mhm.
bought and sold, it seems like, or a part of something else that's much bigger, right? Like we're however much our bank account's worth, like we're kind of that number in that account, and that's our little piece of all of that stuff. But these guys that are moving this bigger stuff around, it feels like a financial black hole
Oh
that
my
is that
gosh.
has kind of
That is
pulled
a
that sucked our old economy into it before anyone else knew what was going on, and
and
they've
now
got
we're all
all of
just
the
kind of in this system that's all based on, oh my gosh, that's dark, Dallas.
well, I mean,
Because
think
that could
about
be,
it.
and
Where's
that
the
could be the
money?
true,
Where's the
that's the
wealth?
true,
Where's the
that's
property
the true,
ownership? You know?
true globalism is this idea like it doesn't matter what country you're from, what language you speak, what color your skin is. It's just, do you have control of certain assets? And then,
Well, and
because
on the
most of
flip
the
side
people,
of
like
that,
99% of the people have no power in this system at all.
right?
And we
And
we have this
you're a tenant.
democracy, we have this
You may
vote,
even
we
be a
have
tenant
whatever.
renting, right? Like you're
Yeah,
renting in an
yeah,
apartment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
So it's like
that's dark.
it's a bigger I mean there's just some things that we're not fully aware of that people need
But
to be more aware of
but
and
back to the
play the game
topic, are
more.
you worried about the jets from Russia coming
Well,
into
I
our
guess that's what
country?
I'm saying is that little things and slowly but surely these things can happen. And then all of a sudden there's been negotiations and there's been things worked out that you have no idea of knowing about. And your society was going one direction. And then all of a sudden, all the guns are in money and everything else is in another direction. All the judges, all the everything is all in this other camp. And you're
And
sitting back being
you
like,
had nothing to.
well, I mean, in America now, it's a little different because America has this large, like, kind of anti-American thing, right? So, like, the further we go right, we get Nazis. The further we go left, we get um, the communist, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like all of a sudden, I don't know if you noticed this, but it was like over the last 5 years, like all of a sudden there was all these open, proud communists that was like before it's like, oh no, 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 we're not communist.
Yeah.
No, 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 that's not true.
Oh
That's not
yeah,
true.
it's
And it's like all of a
definitely
sudden
growing.
it's like raging and you're there like in your
Yeah.
face with all this, like vitriol. And
It's kind of like the 19, the 100 years
I guess
ago.
what I'm saying is on the flip side of that, if that black hole that I'm describing is being used to reverse the effects of outsourcing and the effects of globalization that happened around 1999 with the
Hmm.
WTO, then it's like, what more do you want? But unfortunately, it's all kind of being concentrated in a very personal, almost like a monarchy, where they're trying to create a dynasty that's going to lock them in, and then with AI sort of automating it all, right? So it's got leaders are locking themselves in and automating this stuff, and then the rest of us are just going to be sitting around being like, well, what happened to the old thing? Why are
Oh yeah, and we'll have this whole new. Yeah, I mean, I compare it to. I don't know if you know that you probably do the history of Latvia, but just 1939, Latvia is an independent country, independent for about 30 years, 1918 to 1939. We have a leader named Carlos Ulmanis, who's like a dictator of Latvia. He was a beneficial dictator. He wasn't like a Hitler dictator killing people, but he just was this one person with all the power. He could say, do this, don't do this, tore things down, built things up, had a plan, doing all these things. And then behind his back, the powers that be, Hitler and Stalin, make a secret pact
hmm
to take over the Baltics,
hmm
give Russia the Baltics. Hitler
yeah.
gets Poland. And basically, the people here like you said, they're just in this, this world they've been living in,
Well, the
farming and building and
mhm,
being Latvian and doing their thing. And then all of a sudden somebody says, no, now you belong to them.
yeah.
We didn't
Well,
vote for
and
this.
during
We
World
didn't
War
say
II,
this is what we wanted.
all of these populations were conscribed into
Oh yeah.
whatever
The
conquering
German
army
army,
comes
then
along.
the Russian army
Right,
and
so you have the
German army.
same
Yeah.
guy that's like getting go now he's this army, now he's in that army,
Yeah.
now he's in this army.
Yeah.
And so like you have to really be careful about how you are understanding the history that's involved, and I think that it really just opens up this whole Pandora's box because you're like, wow, like okay, like the German soldiers that I described in their first episode, where I was like, oh my gosh, these are Nazis, or like they were German soldiers that were in the Nazis, they were in these farms, in
Hmm.
these armies, and conscribed into
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and so then it's like, okay, well, how much of it was at like at gunpoint or just kind of a
Or it's
part,
just
not
what you do. I don't think it's
not
like
doing
necessarily
as you're
gunpoint. It's just kind of
told,
like,
because there is
yeah.
some morality, right? It's like you have good decisions, bad decisions, but what does a normal average citizen do? You know what I'm saying?
Most people just do what they're told to do. That's
Yeah.
that's the experience I've noticed.
Yeah.
I see
There
that.
there was
I see
some
that.
there was some
This is going to
awful
change the
things that
subject a
happened
little
here.
bit, but
There were some
we
awful
got
things that the Nazis did here in Latvia, and
oh
some of the
yeah.
Latvians were raging, like Nazis. So, but it's like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like you got to distinguish between,
Okay.
the
We
those
got
guys and the others.
2 minutes left, so I want to steer this back. That's great. The last thing I wanted to bring up was just 30 seconds, Dallas. Summarize where you're at with the Charlie Kirk thing from last week.
Man, I'm just really taken back with the dichotomy of that memorial service where she's talking about how she forgives, and it's like, maybe you could forgive some of these people in advance before they start
Yeah.
shooting, um,
Yeah.
and or like yeah, there's a little bit of like, look how great I am because I can forgive, but also she
Yeah.
may be a true believer giving
Yeah.
cover to all of these other people, and they're being used in that way. But then he gets up there and she says the message of love, which is what it is, right? The New
Yeah.
Testament message of
Supposed to be.
love.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
gets up there, he's like, I hate my enemy. That's where I
I
disagree.
still
I
hate
hate
him.
my
Yeah.
opponents. It's
Yeah.
like, well, like
Well,
now
yeah.
it's a hate rally.
Yeah. And the big question, I was just wondering, like, where's his family? This is supposed to be a memorial service for Charlie Kirk, and it's all these politicians and right-wing conservative,
Yeah,
and then the frickin' Goebbels of our time. I
I
don't even like to
know.
say his name.
I know.
It was
It's like and
bizarre.
it makes it look like the same people are being pushed into war each generation.
Like they create building this. Who are they? They kept
Yeah.
saying they, we and they. I'm
Yeah.
like, aren't we America? Aren't
Well, and I
we?
mean, I'm happy for
I want
the
to end with
I'm happy
that. I
for
want
the
to end with,
recruitment.
aren't we America, Dallas?
Ukraine does need, in Poland, and the whole
Yeah,
Eastern
yeah,
front here needs the
yeah.
recruitment. But
All right, Dallas, thanks for your
yeah,
time today.
honestly,
And
yeah,
give
man.
give